that.
Let's talk about game 2 adjustments, though, Earl, because you were there game 1.
Okay.
What do you want to see from both the Cavs side in terms of adjustments to make sure they leave game 2 tonight with the same result we saw on Saturday?
What do I want to see from the Cavs adjustment-wise to make sure that they come away with a 2-0 lead? I honestly want to see the Cleveland Cavaliers kind of do a better job on Paolo, Banchero?
Yep.
Banchero. I want to see the Cavs do a better job on him. I know he didn't shoot that well from the field, but he too had a lot of open looks that he missed. And I think, the 9 turnovers was him like really trying to get others involved and things like that. But that dude is a flat out superstar, right? And I think that 24-7, I think that he has the ability, to come out and be better this game. And so it's going to take the Cavs to actually put more emphasis on locking him down, making sure that, he's not getting to the rim because, he, like I said, he missed a lot of easy shots themselves, right? And the refs was letting people play most things that, typically would have been a foul that's going in his direction wasn't. I know he missed a lot of free throws as well. And Orlando takes and makes a lot of free throws from the free throw line. And so, like,
they do.
And
they did in game 1.
Right. He didn't play his best game. And I think that JB Bickerstaff needs to go back, watch the tape. I don't even know, Mike, if I would call it an adjustment, just kind of double down on what you did to make sure that dude don't kill you, because that's the only dude on the Orlando Magic that can absolutely kill you.
They are offensively challenged, and that I'm being nice.
Yeah.
If he went for 45, it would be a problem. But outside of that, I just don't see how this team can beat the Cavs in this series. I don't. I'm not talking about a game. They can take a game. I don't see how they can beat us 4 times.
Me neither.
With a team that is this offensively challenged.
I'm looking at it from a standpoint of I'm going to get Darius Garland. I want to get him back flowing. I would move him off the ball a little bit. If I'm running with Donovan Mitchell and Darius and Donovan in the same backcourt, I want to roll with Donovan as the main ball handler. I want to see some backside action. I want to see some plays where Darius Garland can come off some screens and get some open shots. I don't necessarily believe that you have to have him at the point of attack and 2 guys blitz him and him getting beat up a little bit. That's fine for him to do that when Donovan is on the bench getting rest. But I think him as well as Max Strus, they need to do a better job of getting some clean looks for him. Whether that's out of timeouts, whether that's coming off screens, whether it's coming off pin downs. I want to see those guys come off and get some easy shots without having to go 1-on-5 and look to see if they can get to the rack or dish off. So that and then the next thing I want to see in this game is, you already know, it's going to tell me a lot about the energy level if they come out here. Are the Cavs going to be focused and say, listen, all they got to do is win 1 here. We beat them the first game, but if they come out here with a split, now we got a young team going home hungry, thirsty, and with a large crowd that's ready to get after it. So I want to see how they come out. The first 5-10 minutes of the game, you got to come out and you got to make it be known that Orlando, you guys are going to go home 0-2, and this game is not going to be pretty for you. So the energy, the effort, the intensity, and then when you get them down, bury them. Because one thing that we haven't talked about is Donovan is about 75-80%. We want that rest. How good would it be for Donovan Mitchell? Darius Garland looks like his back is ailing him just a little bit. How good would it be if you could get up out of here with a sweep and get some time off and rest your legs a little bit? So you have to start thinking about little things like that. Rest. Make sure you come out on top, Jay, because I think if they can bury him in this game, you'll see some of that confidence and that luster go away.
Right.
So when you say sweep, like the whole series?
The series, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. We want to see that.
I said earlier that things are going to change when it goes south. It will absolutely change. The momentum that I think carried the Cavs to that hot start really propelled them to the win. Mm-hmm. And the home crowd had a lot to do with that. They came out, they were fired up. Mm-hmm. And everybody, including JB, talked afterwards about how we made it a point to come out hot. Well, you can take that away in Game 3.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That they won't be able to do that. Now, it'll still be the mission. Let's come out and put our foot on their throat, start on a 10-2 run, and let's take this home crowd and send them home early.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So that will be top of mind for the Cavs. But there's a saying in the NBA playoffs, and I've always loved this and I always believed it to be true. the series does not start until the home team loses a game. You know, right now it's all about holding serve, and if everybody holds serves, then we've got Game 7 in Cleveland in a week and change. To your point of getting rest, Miami disappointed me a little bit in Game 1 against Boston.
Oh, they took that.
Now-
Boston hit him with that knockout blow early.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised. I thought, you know, based on what happened with these two teams last year, but Boston is saying the same thing Cleveland's saying. Last year, we got kidnapped.
Yeah.
We didn't even know that we had been taken.
Yeah.
And we were in a foreign place. And that happened to the Cavs last year in the playoffs, and it happened to the Celtics last year in the playoffs. Now, it was devastating to us.
Yeah.
It was soul-crushing to Boston.
It was embarrassing.
It was embarrassing. They were supposed to win it all.
Yeah.
And Miami just came up and said, no. Now, maybe the series will play out differently going forward, but I'm kind of looking that one might be a quick series too.
Oh, yeah.
So the Cavs might not get rest. Not only might they not get rest, if Boston's a quick one and we end up needing 7, especially with the miles on Donovan Mitchell, now you got to play the 1 and they're fresh and you're tired.
And the first
you can't
two
have
games
that.
in Boston.
So I know what you're doing here is you're
that's
trying to look ahead.
Oh, yeah, that's my calculus.
But that's how you win chess.
Yeah.
If you don't play 3 moves ahead when you're playing chess, the game's over pretty quickly. And I suck at chess because I only focus on one thing at a time. I'm in the moment.
That's all I can do.
And the reason I always get my ass handed to me in chess is because I'm playing someone says, "Oh man, I set that up 3 moves ago," and I'm like, "Yeah, I wasn't paying attention for that."
You know, when we talk about basketball, you mentioned this series going back to Orlando, and we won't have the luxury of having our home court crowd.
Right.
And you know, when you're at home, that's when role players do their thing and they play better. And so another thing that I would like to see in Game 2. You know, JB went 9 deep. I think Merrill played 4 minutes.
Yeah, didn't
Mike
play
said,
much.
Mike said, you know, those first half minutes from LeVert didn't look too good. So like
sit
JB gave him some run. I kind of want to see more from our role players, right?
Right.
From LeVert, from
we're gonna need 'em.
Niang. Like we're gonna need those, man. Shout out to George Niang too. Like I think he hit and made 1 3-point shot, but the Cavs was plus 13 with him on the court.
Oh,
And-
really?
Yeah, and so like I just need more from those two guys in particular,
Right.
from a scoring standpoint, and then like more so with LeVert because LeVert is another guy that can be like on the ball,
Right.
You know what I'm saying, guard, and I think it does wonders,
Man.
for getting the ball out of Darius Garland's hands and helping him get some more shots up as well.
That's a great point. When they were 18-2, they were getting contributions from everybody. You know, and now much of that stretch was without Mobley and it was without Darius. But Merrill stepped up and became a force.
Yeah, he was a
At
ball
some
player.
point in these playoffs, we're going to need him to step up and be a force. So really, to answer your question, what do you change? It's not a different note on the pregame sheet. It's just make your damn threes. If this team shot yesterday what they shoot in the regular season from three-point range, they win by 25 and the game is never in question. They got it. It was like a 14-point lead in the fourth quarter, and then all of a sudden it was like 6.
Yeah.
And that's what happens when you miss a couple of possessions in a row and the other team hits a couple of buckets. Next thing you know, the thing can flip on you really quickly. Make your three-pointers.
Yeah.
It's a make-it league. It's a three-point league. The playoffs are here now. You're going to need Merrill to be hot, Niang to be hot. You're going to need Max Strus to be hot. If those guys shoot well from 3, they are going to be a very, very difficult
They
out.
need and I know a lot of people think that we tough on Darius Garland or whatever, and the people that have even hinted to that we have some sort of agenda on Darius Garland. The reason we talk about Darius Garland so much is we understand that the Cavs are not going to be able to win certain games if they don't have Darius Garland giving you 20. We need to pencil him in for 20 because we just got to talk about the role players. We don't know what we're getting from Strus or Merrill or Niang. We don't know we can't pencil that in the playoffs from game to game what they're going to get. What you get from them, especially on the road, is a bonus. But from the guys, the main dudes, it's the 2 guards.
The core 4.
The core 4, right? And more so, the guys who have the ball. Darius Garland is traditionally a 20-point plus guy a game. We need to pencil him in for 20 and about 5 assists and 2 turnovers. Not 5, 2. We can deal with 2.
Right.
This is, these games come down to possessions, especially late in games. We can't throw the ball away, and we got to know, and he's going to have to be aggressive. When we go to Orlando, we talk about kind of looking ahead a little bit. They got to take care of business tonight, obviously. But when you get to Orlando, he has to be super uber aggressive. If he goes 0 for 30, who cares? On the road, your stars have to be aggressive, and you live and die with what they're going to do.
Yeah, we've been talking as if tonight is in the bank because of the way Game 1 went. You dramatically change the mood, the outlook, the feel. If you lose one, because Orlando's mission was simple coming to Cleveland. We've got 2 to win 1.
Right.
And there's no back against any wall yet because they know they're going to get their home games. But if for some reason the Cavs take their foot off the gas,
what's the recipe?
And Orlando sneaks out with a dub,
what is the recipe for Orlando?
I don't like the way this thing goes.
What's the recipe for Orlando getting the upset?
Well, number one, they have to do something that they just traditionally don't do, and that's make 3-pointers. They've got to score. Because this Cavs team, even though they went through a 10-minute scoring desert, they still damn near hit 100 points against a really good defensive team. So the one thing that the Orlando Magic can do is force the Cavs to turn it over. There's 2 things. Force them to turn it over at the rate they did in Game 1, and also hit 8 more 3-pointers. Even if you hit 8 more 3-pointers, that's 24 points.
Yeah.
They won by 14. So, and that's doable. They shot, 11%?
Yeah, it was terrible. I would expect Orlando's adjustment would move Suggs from guarding Darius to Donovan, leave Isaac on Jared Allen, and that forces the Cavs to make a choice. Do we want to run pick and roll with Donovan and Jarrett against arguably 2 of the 5 best defenders in basketball?
I think that opens things up for Mobley.
Or then we have Darius and Evan be the initiators of our offense against Gary Harris and Paolo. And with Paolo, they use drop coverage almost exclusively in the first game. And Darius did a couple good things against drop coverage. So I think that's the adjustment. I also think we'll see Orlando ramp up the pressure and stop giving Donovan as much space to operate. They let him have a couple, especially early. They gave him space, which allowed him to get going. And then once he made a couple shots, Donovan's in the zone. It's hard to get him out. So I think their 2 adjustments, switching the guard matchup, Suggs to Donovan, and not giving Donovan nearly as much space to operate. But at the end of the day, Orlando took 30 free throws and scored 83 points.
God.
Like, that is
They missed
truly a pathetic offensive performance. They'll be better tonight because I don't think it's possible to be worse. But I don't know how they're going to create offense. They want to get to the paint. And when you can play Jarrett and Mobley together because of the matchups on the other end of the court, especially if Evan's making shots, it's tough to score on those guys.
The reason that's such a scary stat is because Orlando does like to score with the clock stopped. And they do. And I think that's something that they can put in their bank. Like, they know that that's in their DNA. They're going to get that night to night to night to night. The thing that they made 30 free throws.
They took 30.
They took 30. They was 19 to 30.
Okay,
they shot like 63%.
Which is a terrible percentage.
Right, they shot 63%. They're not going to do that
but
again.
The fact that they had 30 trips in a road playoff game that we all agree was loosely called.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me. And so if they scored 19 points with the clock stopped, that means that they scored 64 points in 48 minutes of basketball.
It was a horrific. They'll be better tonight.
They can't be worse.
But at the end of the day, let's make our picks real quick. I'm sticking with the Cavs. They're a better team.
I am too.
Donovan's the best player in the series. He looks healthy. And at home with the Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse crowd behind him, I'd be surprised if the Cavs don't win
What's
tonight.
the number the Cavs reach tonight? I'm saying they win and they score 110.
I'll go 104.
Okay.
They win with 104.
That's tough. I think the final score 102-89.
So you got 104.
I
You
got
got
110.
110. You got 104. You got 102. I got the Cavs with 100 on the dot.
Okay.
I got 100 on the dot. I say 100 to about 89.
Man,
Right,
Earl,
very
you pull the prices right. You gonna say
Yeah, he
$1?
did. That's the price is right.
Hey,
$1. He got their bids and he comes in. He's like, "Yo, over. I'm gonna $1."
listen, old
And
price
the
is
actual
right.
retail price is $1 flashing. Ding, 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 ding. Earl's running up on that stage, and you're like, "What just happened?"
Shouting out all his people. Yeah, well, listen, and then they gonna give him a game like Plinko. There's no skill in that.
They win $25,000.
And get both showdown downs when he gets in the.
Man,
For all you young guys,
They don't know.
You don't know.
They don't
Check
know.
it out.
Check it out.
Tip
CBS,
off
11
tonight,
o'clock.
7 p.m. on NBA TV and Bally's. We will have a post-game show at some point tonight. It's not going to be immediately after the game, but we'll have some sort of 20, 25-minute recap
Nice.
coming up, so make sure you guys tune in. Appreciate everyone who tuned in on Saturday for that one. We're going to pivot topics here, guys, in a sec, but first,